Hey everyone, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Thursday, April 11th, 2019. All right, so today we are coming off of a lot of energy from yesterday. We had quite a bit going on astrologically yesterday. But today the moon's going to be shifting into Gemini. And so the theme likely will be around matters of maybe communication, learning, and really just getting into our practical minds a bit for a bit of that sort of learning and curiosity with the moon in Gemini. So with this, the sun was squaring up to Saturn yesterday, so that could be easing up, maybe feeling a little bit less limitation or having to work within more of a responsible or realistic approach to things. Jupiter's also now officially retrograde, so any shifts in terms of our perspectives from yesterday, we can start to implement now, maybe going into the weekend. And what we're left with here is Mercury sextiling Pluto, who's going to be squaring up to Jupiter. So a great day for maybe some empowered communication, maybe some learning, using our mind in deep ways. And with Jupiter, maybe thinking about some of these potentials or opportunities that, again, we're starting to see in a new perspective, and maybe integrate some of that, because the squares are great for implementation of what might be a bit of that abstract sort of inspiring sort of thinking. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. Let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this Thursday. And again, we are using the actual visible sky, which is different from mainstream astrology. And so this does change the signs. If you are new to the channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so let's go and take a look at the backdrop of the day here with the moon in Gemini. Gemini is all about that inquisitiveness, curiosity, getting into our practical side. Makes it a really good day for gaining information, doing things like reading or writing perhaps. Again, communication or just exchanging with others. It doesn't necessarily have to be about communication. Also things like trade or business or contracts and things like this could be the theme here today. But fundamentally with Gemini, it is about seeing the practical aspects of life and being observant of our thoughts and how we think about things and how that does sort of influence our perspective on matters. And as long as we sort of have that sort of curiosity, willingness to learn, we maintain that flexibility and adaptability that Gemini gives us. So this is a very different energy from where the sun is. And so we are starting to enter into the first quarter phase of the lunar cycle, which means that the energies are starting to get into the integration part of the lunar month. Roughly about a week ago, we did have the new beginning, the new moon. There might have been some subtle shifts at that time. And now it's a great part of the week to start to challenge ourselves to integrate these different energies. So when it comes to that sort of mental air energy of Gemini, it's really good to integrate that with the water energy of Pisces, right? We've had a lot of this Pisces energy. This has been about focusing on life in a sense that is, accepting and receptive and connecting to the ethers of life and what really matters on an essential level or a soul level in life, right? And so how can we integrate that more accepting, surrendering, and present approach while still doing this more mental stuff, right? Using the mind, curiosity, communication, things like that. So observing the mind, bringing some presence to the mind, all of that is usually a great way of integrating both the presence of Pisces and the importance of practicality shown by Gemini. All right, so that's the sort of backdrop there in terms of the placements. Now, with these aspects, we had a lot of aspects from yesterday, one of which was the sun squaring up to Saturn. So we'll likely feel today, if you didn't already feel this yesterday actually, just a bit of lifting off from more of the serious energy regarding maybe our self-expression, or if anything you were focused on, or seeing the sort of reality of things or something like this. That more serious energy or possibly limiting energy starts to lift off here a bit today, which is quite nice. And it's still great for constructive things, of course, to implement a bit of that diligence, patience, responsibility that we may have had during the square to continue to move things forward, again, this part of the week. Now, along with this, Jupiter is now officially retrograde, and so we may have noticed maybe some shifts of perspectives, maybe felt like we've kind of got a break from more of the potentials or opportunities or those perspectives that we were seeing with the opportunities of the year. And so now with this retrograde today, just a slow and steady sort of shift of perspective regarding inspirations or potentials that we can start to implement. Just a great day to, set some intentions to further look at things from those different angles. All right, so with that, with those things, the strongest energy from yesterday coming into today is probably going to be involving Mercury. And so this is going to be Mercury sextiling up to Pluto and squaring up to Jupiter going into the later part of the day. So with the sextile to Pluto, a great day for maybe powerful thinking, again, very Gemini-like, maybe deep thinking, maybe powerful communication, maybe deep communication, and just, again, that sort of deeper perspective. So it's not a major thing with this, but it is just a bit of an opening. So if there is anything you want to channel that's sort of deeper or powerful or empowered thoughts and communications into things, or things that use your mind, really good day to do that. Now, we'll probably feel more so as the day unfolds is the square to Jupiter, which is, again, about those potentials. So we could be thinking about potentials, maybe opportunities. Maybe we could be feeling quite abstract. In fact, it does make it a really good day for philosophy, gaining higher wisdom, spirituality when it's about the knowledge or wisdom of spirituality, right? And expanding our minds a bit. And maybe even feeling a bit hopeful, right, about some ideals or something like this. So great to do that, but in squares, of course, as most of you know, it is great to channel that constructively, right? So there might be a bit of over-optimism, under-optimism with the mind, this kind of thing. It could be either or. And so do know that there are, again, opportunities, there's potentials, but it may require a bit of that development. And the development today is really centered around Mercury, planet of our mind, communication, anything you can do to channel some of these abstract ideas or potentials into constructive things like plans or budgets or spreadsheets or, whatever it is that really grounds it in a tangible, practical form. It's just a great way of working with this square. All right, and then again, philosophy is great and all this, especially when we are grounding it into what can be actually utilized and put into, verifiable and actionable sort of steps, or, because wisdom and knowledge, like higher philosophies and all that are great, but they're really useful when they're practical, right? We can actually use them and verify them in the world. So that's some examples with the square to Jupiter, which is a great way of working with the energy, probably the strongest aspect of the day today, actually. All right, and then very slightly going into tomorrow, but we'll feel it mostly tomorrow, is Venus is going to be sextiling up to Saturn. So there could be some maybe grounded energy when it comes to our relationships or the things we value in life, grounded connections. We could be feeling a bit responsible, a bit disciplined, and just enjoying a bit of maybe responsibility, taking a slower approach to matters, and just feeling quite grounded again when it comes to our enjoyments and connections. All right. But that's the day in a nutshell. Most important thing here is maybe a bit of that lifting off of that square to Saturn, less of that maybe self-imposed limitation or whatever that was, but still a great part of the week to challenge ourselves to implement maybe some long-term goals or things we know will take time. We do have Jupiter now retrograde. Great to see potentials from new angles, maybe get a bit of a break with some of those other perspectives we were seeing before. With Mercury squaring Jupiter, thinking about them, right? Knowing that they exist, the opportunities are there, but then grounding it into some sort of tangible, practical form. Could have a bit of a deep mind today or deep communication, which can be very powerful, very positive way of working with that. And going into tomorrow, maybe a bit of those more grounded connections and enjoying a bit of that responsibility, patience, things of that nature. All right, but the most fundamental thing of the day here today is the moon in Gemini. Great for getting in touch with that curious side, that willingness to learn, willingness to exchange, be adaptive, all in the context of, again, maintaining presence and awareness of the mind, surrendering what's outside of our control, which is, of course, all of this Pisces energy at the moment. All right, so everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time for the next daily video. Take care.